Welcome to Car Traction. Now today's video is going to be a bit different. Today I'm going to be reviewing and have a looking at 3 Autocar magazines. Now these are all 40s, as you can see. This one is September the 27th 1940, so a wartime one there. July the 12th 1940, also wartime. And this one's a bit later, December the 26th 1947, so I think we're going to have a look at this one first. So you can see on the cover, very nice racing cover, the Campbell circuits at Brooklands, famous banked track, with a very famous driver, Prince Bearer, in his Maserati, with, is that an Alfa Romeo behind? I think it is, and then something like an ERA. Famous racing drivers depend on Lockheed leadership in hydraulic brake design for safety at speed. Colour advert. Now it's not that common, as you can see here. That's a black and white advert, but this one's got a bit of colour there. Girling, the best brakes in the world. Here we have something about the Vauxhall. You can always tell whenever it's a Vauxhall due to, I think they're called flutes in the bonnet. There's basically a slight crease over the bonnet there. Something an advert for a drill. Garrington tools. I certainly haven't got one of those. I'm sure it's one of these smaller obscure makers. Looks to be British. But yeah, certainly haven't got one of those. If you've got a Garrington tools drill, then let me know in the comments section, because I'm sure they must be pretty rare. What's this? The British Road Tire Association. Here we have something about pistons, achievements of British engineering, Sydney Harbour Bridge, and then the Whirlwind. Is that how I say it? Piston. Nice little writing there. I always love classic advertising, if it's on signs or the side of lorries, anything like that, sign writing. I just think this period it just looks so ornate and nice. Like you look at the side of a Bedford OB bus and there's all sorts of little chrome bits that are just so swooping, as if you look at today's bus, they're just a brick with no other features. Something about upholstery there. A few smaller adverts here. Portable electric sprayer. Electric sprayer. My voice went a bit funny there, I do apologise. Something about Allards, another very rare car. You occasionally see these at shows, but not really that often. Favourite of mine, I quite like the big grills they have on them too. Brit tool. Do you know what kind of traffic has the greatest acceleration? Some advert about buses here. Rayon cord tyres increase the efficiency of heavy duty vehicles. Now you will see period photographs of possibly even a bit later than this bus, and what they do is they create a sort of tool that would tilt it. And I think, I can't remember quite the degree, but when you look at photos of these things on the tilting machines, you can tell that they're pretty tilted. Now obviously that would be to stop them from rolling over risks. Something about spanners here. Don't get oil grimed hands. Before you start an oily job, rub Rosalex on your hands. Being a barrier cream in the true sense, Rosalex makes a protective film between the dirt and the skin. Jubilee clip. Very useful indeed. Oldham battery. Something about scrap metal. Obviously this would have been just after the war, so the economy would have been down, so people would have been wanting things that previously would have been quite cheap, but just to scrap any money. Now, this would have been a bit of a quiet point, 1947 for cars. Things sort of started up more in 1948. I know it's December the 26th, so we're not far off. Car radio. Philco, pioneering technology. It's quite a block, isn't it? Obviously pre-war cars, or cars sort of late 30s or 40s, would have been squirreled away to stop them from being bombed, obviously, or in the blackout they were just parked up and forgotten. Something about Fire and Life Assurance Corporation, not sure what that is. Teco or Tico car warmer. 100% sure what that is. Halfords. Something in Chester, place for trailers. Lagonda cars. Wow, that's a nice advert. Once again, you can tell it's a Vauxhall, I think, by the sort of crease in the bonnet there. Dagenham Motors, very well known producer of Fords. Any Ford sort of an Anglia or a Pop would have come from Dagenham. Something about lights. The AC garage. Some sort of build your own garage. Nice advert here as well. Track rod ends. This is a nice little advert here. Value 500, value £5. And scrap. You cannot afford to be without a Pyrene. Now, Pyrene was one of the main manufacturers of fire extinguishers. I've got a couple of those in my shed. It's always nice when you get the nice writings. They're sort of quite a chunky thing, but sometimes they get a bit dented. Obviously, you're going to want to get one that isn't really that dented, but sometimes they have a nice label on the side. Very nice Rover advert. Is that a P2 or something? Looks like that. Post-war saloon. Nice scenery in the background. Some articles here. News and views. Wow, look at that Buick. 1948 convertible. Going aboard, is that an Austin 8 or 10? Something like that. Going on the Dover to Dunkirk ferry. And there are Jaguar cars for America. I'm sure those cars are very sought after. Not sure how many of those are still around. Protection for exports. All these seats were wrapped in waterproof paper. There we go. Damp succeeded in penetrating to varying degrees as shown in this photograph, and the seats were subsequently attacked by mould. Synchronization. Men, materials and methods synchronized in the production of precision-made automobile equipment. Car Mart, is that some sort of selling or buying thing? Dear sir, if you are considering the disposal of a car, may we remind you that this organisation, possibly the largest of its kind in this country, is in a position to offer full value for all types, including post-war models. We would welcome full particulars. Yours faithfully, the Car Mart Limited. Some racing car, the Vesta Union. I've heard of Auto Union, of course, but Vesta Union, not sure. Something about hill climbing here. Very nice artwork there. Take to the hills. Some more nice artwork. Is that meant to be something? Well, the driver's sitting at the front, so I can only presume the engine is sort of mid-engined or at the rear. So something like an Auto Union. I'm sure it's not, because I don't think the Auto Unions have the slat. I'm sure it's some sort of home-built obscure car. But yes, very nice. There's something else coming on there. We have some car equipment. Obviously, even then, there would have been still a lot of complicated equipment. Here you can see the engine and suspension arms. And the gearbox coming back, obviously going into the drive shaft there. Is that the rear suspension? I think so. With the diff hiding in there. A few vaguely amusing adverts here. Some more articles. Defroster. Wow. A diagram on where you should keep maintaining your car engine there. Wow, that's a nice advert for Jaguar. Very princely saloon car. Still looks sort of pre-war in a way. Try opening the page with that hand. Hey, there we go. Wow, what's this? The magnificent new Minx, Hillman Minks, product of the Roots Group. Now the Roots Group was formed after the war of, I think, manufacturers such as Humber, Singer, I think something like that. Car manufacturers like that. Something about rally trials or hill climbs. Is that an MG or something there? I think, oh, it's all the same car. I just realised that. Oh, a Triumph. Competing in the 1947 MCC Land's End trial. Oh, what's this? Louis Delage, passing of another revered name in French motoring. Well, today we're seeing a lot of classic British brands struggling to keep in existence, i.e. some things like Lotus. Obviously they've just released their new car, which is a hypercar, which hopefully will boost sales a bit, but I'm not sure really. We've seen so many go. TVR, anything like that. Wow, the 2.4 litre Healey Supersport's very ornate body there. Wow, a fine motor. When you've got to stop, you can rely on Mintex. I presume that's something to do with brakes. Michelin, very famous Michelin man, of course. Tyre pressure's got a few of those. So, as if, pretend that he's the tyre, you'd stick that in and it would inflate, and then that would show the PSI on there. Amal, not quite sure what that is. Osram got a few ball boxes that are Osram branded. Specially selected car bargains. Anything good? 1937 Delage. Fraser Nash, Lancia, Astura Sports Saloon. Wow, I'm sure some of this stuff in here is pretty desirable today. Delage, Daimler 4 litre, Buick, Bentley, Austin 16 Saloon, Alvis Speed 25, and another one, Alvis 4.3 litre, and yet another Speed 25. A few more small adverts here, I won't go through all of them. As with all these car sales. I won't waffle on about these too much. Alert car alarm. And here we have on the final page another very nice colour advert. Pass on Parsons chains. Obviously chains would be if you had chains in your car and you needed to get through ice. Wrapping them around the tyre would increase traction. So now let's have a look at the second of the magazines. Just put this one to the side. Which one should I pick? I think I'll pick this one. Ford Anglia on the front with the model plane in the background. You can see also it has the light sort of defender, not quite sure the name for it, that would angle the light down so that if you were above, obviously bombing the place or just having a look, you wouldn't see the lights that would indicate a city or town, which was obviously a target. Now this one is July the 12th, 1940. Now, a way to tell publications of this era if they're wartime is the paper is often a bit thicker and low quality, obviously due to rationing of materials. Same can be said for cars like this. These would have been squirreled away due to petrol rationing. Even some cars like this were made to run on gas. So they do a big gas balloon on the top and they'd convert it almost LPG today. With the Oldham car batteries advert, built to last means life. Tragedy in France, very nice truck. Is that, oh, I don't know what that is. Anything saying that? I can't really say. Some sort of plane. Got a German tank rolling over as well. Here, there and everywhere. Nice Riley there. Carefree driving, so there still was some positivity around, of course. Ferrodo brake lining's got a slightly later box of those. Here we have an amusing picture. He says he's more comfortable up there. Now that actually links to what I was just saying about before, running on gas. So that would be full of gas. That thing he's sitting on, and obviously he finds that more comfortable than the seat. Very inventive horn, 3 different tones. Well, that's a very nice ambulance on a Ford V8 chassis. Got a few more motoring jokes. A panel wall sacrificed. We have to paint our bumpers or wings with white paint if cars are to be used during the blackout. Many motorists whom I have seen on the roads recently have taken this opportunity to write on their rear panels encouraging slogans such as "Go to it" and "Chin up." While I really do admire the public spirit behind these messages, it does seem a shame that beautiful paintwork should be daubed with enamel in this way. One particularly crude piece of lettering on the rear panel of a brand new Austin 12 I saw the other day cried out to all who saw the message, I should say, which was, "The driver of this car is not worried by the possibility of defeat, as it does not exist." So, 1940 dawn of the war. The wording was done in white enamel and could be read some distance away, and it was obviously there for good or until the car was repainted. I pulled up alongside the driver of the car at a filling station and suggested that the vandalism was similar to the small boys' chalk marks on new paintwork. The reply I received completely disarmed me. The driver said, "If the words make only one man or woman smile, or give them an atom more encouragement, or help our war effort by the smallest fraction, then I shall consider my rear panel well sacrificed." That's very interesting. Decarbonising a 6-cylinder Wolseley Hornet. Method of carrying a bicycle on the front. Wow, that's inventive. Not sure how good visibility would be with that applied. But then again, a lot of cars weren't being used. Wow, that's a very nice drawing, very well done, of a Bugatti, I think it is a Bugatti, ploughing into a fence. Not obvious what track that is. Fireworks in the Isle of Man, there you go. Wow, that's a brilliant drawing, that. For a brilliant car, very sought after, of course, today. Something like this, US design. Wow, that's similar to the layout of the Auto Union. So you got the engine there, and then driver sit there, and all the front running gear. You can see that, I'm sure, being American, powered by a V8, because that's just the way it has to be if it's American. When miles were miles. Some nice stuff there. Flat-fronted Morgan, pretty rare, especially to see a convertible. An Alvis Speed 25. Wow, some of these things are really rare now. Daimler Straight 8. Oh, sorry, that's a Daimler Straight 8. I recognise the front of it now. Is that an SS? Something like that. Looks like a Rolls Royce to me. Wow, some very now sought after cars. 4.5 litre overdrive Bentley. Another very sought after, especially being overdrive. Tecalemit official station. Have you washed your car? Specially selected car bargains. Here we have that section again. I won't read all of them out. Sunbeam Talbot 3 litre Sports, £365. Wow. A lot of Alvises actually, and most of these are, but they're all pre-war, aren't they? A Hudson County Club Deluxe Saloon. Wow, these things must be seriously sought after today, if there are even any of them around. Aircraft identification charts. Once again, I won't read through all of these. I think they do go to the end of the magazine, don't they? Here's some more adverts, once again with the Jubilee clips, very useful in car engines. Side lamp shield, that's what I was talking about earlier. You could see direct the light from the lamp down. Price 3 shillings and 6pence. Motor driving made easy. Well-worthy piston rings. Well-worthy simplex piston. Oh, it's the same advert, I just realised. For trouble-free motoring, use Hobson non-oil plugs. Wow, that's quite a cool plug. I wouldn't say no to one of those. On the back page, we have another very nice colourised Lucas advert. How's your battery? Save petrol by fitting a Lucas high-voltage sports coil. Headlamp masks, as we saw before, and a new weatherproof cover. I think that's also for lights. So now I'm going to have a look at the last magazine that I have today. Can't believe I'm recording this all in one solid block. It's just so interesting, these magazines. Very nice cover. Not quite sure what that car is. Some of these would have just been a random drawing, not necessarily based on something. September the 27th, 1940. Oldham batteries again. Seems to be a slight fashion with these Autocar magazines, founded 1895, of course. Models and modes, some very nice cars. They're very nice racing cars. Is that a Merc? Not quite sure. Sort of tail makes me think a bit of Mercedes. Some sort of Taurus there. Can't quite tell. Looks like a Rolls. That I'm not too good with my early cars, but is that a Rolls Royce? I don't know really. I think that's a Rolls Royce. Something like the Silver Ghost, is it? Oh, this is a bit more like it racing. I presume is that somewhere like Brooklands? There you go, Brooklands. What's that? Standard, of course I can tell because of the way that the radiator goes around. The standard of 1913, so you can see in 30 years or so the development. But nowadays, if you look at a car from say 1990 and compare it to a car of today, they're actually pretty similar. But I guess as things are going more EV and electric, there's going to be quite a big advance in car design sometime soon. Napier Railton photos, very iconic. A week or so ago when I was on holiday, I think it was more like a month actually, I remember seeing that. It was a very rare occasion if you want to see that car, and it was actually running and going around the track. Please check out Old Classic Car Dad's channel. I had meant to do a video about Brooklands, put the SD card on the camera, had filled up to add our whole holiday photos on it as well. Who the blankety blazers do you think you're driving into, Private Wood? They've obviously had a racing incident there. So he's crashed into his senior officer. Bentley, the silent sports car, very blank advert, but people always associate Bentley with quality. This car has been immobilised. The Schrader spark plug air pump will inflate all 4 tyres in a few minutes. It's no trouble, the engine does the work. Schrader, tyre pressure equipment. I remember I've seen a lot of tiny little tins of the valves that go inside these little tyre pressure things. Quite nice writing on them. Some diagrams of the underskin of cars. Zenith carburetors. Riley, very nice front. I always like cars like that are sort of had an air of pre-war, but they were easier to maintain, a bit quicker with the helps of post-war technology. Evershaw accessories, and Evershaw, I'm thinking of Everready. Sorry, Everready was lights, did bulbs and stuff very similar to Osram. Can't quite recall what Evershaw is. I can see a jack there and a lamp. This page has slightly come undone, so I have to be a bit careful with it. More nice artwork. Looks like a bit of carnage. Something rolled over there as well. The pile-up of 1927. Wow, that's a very elegant car. Lagonda. Wow. That's beautiful. It reminds me of, is it the Talbot Lego of this era? The Tech Limit advert. Tyre reconditioning, tyre soles. Another Pyrene advert, obviously fire extinguishers. The main British manufacturer. More car bargains, anything racing there. I can see a lot more MGs this time, but still, most of them are Alvises. This one's expensive, 1,000. Lagonda, 12-cylinder short chassis, sport foursome drop head coupe. Wow. That would certainly be a lot more than just over £1,000 today if it's still around. Austin 7 Saloon, £85. Of course, that due to inflation, that would have been quite a lot more money. We have to look at this in the perspective of 1940. Another Jubilee clip advert there. Anything interesting? The monitor side lamp shield. Motor driver made easy. Looks like some sort of publication book. Something about, oh, aircraft identification again. As we go onto the back page, we have a very nice trailer advert. We've got a few trailers around here. They always look very nice, especially the pre-war ones. Obviously, being 1940, that would have been new, and you can see all the variations you can get. Is that an engine on it, possibly? Not sure. But anyway, that was 3 1940s classic Autocar magazines, of course, British. That was a lovely little set. Now, a while ago, I did do a video about speed magazines. Now, that's on my dad's channel, Old Classic Car. And quite a few of you people liked that one. I've got them right next to me here. These ones. So if you want to see more of that, I've got 3 of those as well. Check out that video. Anyway, that's it for these wonderful Autocar magazines. Do you like this sort of thing? Do you express an interest in magazines? Anything like that? Drop a comment in the section below. If you don't find yourself subscribed, please do so, because it helps out a bunch. Thanks for watching.